So, folks, there's this lady named Miss Rachel, and she's been getting absolutely shellacked on social media and in the press for having the audacity to treat Palestinian children as human beings that are children and still deserve love, respect, and safety. And for this monstrous crime of believing that Palestinians should be, treated as human beings, she's been getting attacked. And despite this, from like all different directions,
I can't think of anything witty to put here, so pretend I did.
Celestial Heart, thank you for the $10 dono. Despite being attacked from all different directions, and again, she didn't like put out like any kind of like, as far as I know, any kind of like definitive statement or anything. She just had a Palestinian child who had her legs blown off by an Israeli bomb onto her Instagram stories and sang songs and talked with her about her feelings for this crime. She's just been getting attacked as being an anti-Semite, right? And so it's just it's insane. Despite this, despite the massive amount of contrived bullshit and affected, hysteria, Miss Rachel has just doubled down, tripled down, and you know what? Honestly inspiring and badass. She put this out, I believe, either earlier today or yesterday.
Be so ashamed of your silence. Be so ashamed.
But Miss Rachel is already considered a monster by the right. Empathy is punishable by death.
Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. And yeah, I mean, the sin of empathy, I guess, is kind of like the heart of Miss Rachel's channel. The idea that human beings should care about each other, that like, we should we are especially called upon to care about and for children and empathize with them is, and I don't say this lightly, that's a threat to a fascist regime, or fascist regimes plural in this particular case, right? Like Miss Rachel setting the example that people should care about each other, should, empathize with one another. That is literally the foundation of every resistant effort against an authoritarian regime. That's why they go after her. Display like an open, brazen display of kindness, consideration, dare I say, love for people who are different, for people who come from war-torn backgrounds, from victimized regions. That's a threat. The ultimate threat to the colonizer is love and compassion among their victims, because that love and compassion builds power, it builds strength, it is the fundamental engine of human existence, and it is not able to be stopped. And so I just want to say, hats off to Miss Rachel. Genuinely one of the most inspiring figures currently working just in media, period.
That you've seen the same images and videos that we've all seen, but they haven't moved you to do the right thing. The doctor who had her 9 children come to her, who had been killed. You saw the...
And I just have to, like, you guys, I've shown you guys the pictures. Just children being starved until they're like piles of skin and bones, literally. Like it is horrifying. If you have any shred of human decency and empathy within you, you look at these pictures, you see these videos, and beyond the shadow of a doubt what is happening in that place. And if you look at the statistics of who lives and works and dies within Gaza, that statistically most people there are children.
Little girl walking through the fire, you could see her little ponytail Be so ashamed that you normally speak out for human rights. You normally speak out for children everywhere, but you won't now because they're Palestinian. Be so ashamed of your anti-Palestinian racism. So ashamed that you don't see Palestinian people or their children as
It's just satisfying to say free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
the same as us and our children. You think their babies don't like peekaboo and don't smile when they see someone they love and don't cry the same? Be so ashamed that your constituents are begging and pleading for you to say something and do something, and you just ignore us. Be so ashamed that you're putting money, power, your career, your reputation before precious children of God. Be so ashamed that our religions tell us to help the poor. Our religions tell us to feed the hungry. Our religions tell us to open our arms to all people and all children and love every neighbor as ourselves. And you pretend that they mean some. You pretend that they mean ones that maybe look like you or have been deemed acceptable. And that's not right. That's a lie. When enough people say something, it's not controversial anymore. So we need everyone to say something. It's never been wrong to say not to starve children and not to bomb children and not to kill 15,000 children. What's wrong is to be silent. Leaders.
I mean, she's not wrong. She's not wrong, folks. She has a YouTube channel. I think she's more active on her Instagram, Miss Rachel for Littles. And genuinely, guys, standing up like this to the kinds of people who hate Miss Rachel, they're genocidal freaks. There's a risk to her for doing this. Never forget that, folks. When you see these people, these social media folks standing up, they are taking a risk. I know that Bruce Springsteen, for example, has been openly denouncing Donald Trump, and I know that people are like, "Oh, Bruce Springsteen, like he's rich and famous, whatever." He is taking a very real risk by standing up and saying something, and in a fashion taking risk that might otherwise fall on people who are far more vulnerable than him, you know? And so understand that these are really necessary and good ways to resist what is currently happening and the fascistic forces that are besetting us on all sides, and understand that we need to try and do something about it, right? And so I believe that either this weekend, I still have to finalize dates, it's either going to be this weekend or 2 weeks from now. I want to do a PCRF fundraiser. Okay, we're gonna do a charity stream. See what we can do, and I'm gonna try and plan some fun stuff that we can do while all of that happens. But it's I haven't really done one of those before. I figure we'll give it our best shot, see what happens. But I want us to do what we can, and so if Miss Rachel, a lady who does programming for the least of these, the least powerful people, let's give it our shot too, okay? If she can do it, and I think we certainly can, and I spend all of my time talking about politics, and you guys spend a not insignificant amount of time watching politics, but let's see if we can do something, productive with all of the horrors we've ingested from this. Let's see if we can, at the very least, try to help some of these children in Gaza. So that I haven't finalized the date yet. We'll figure it out, but let's see what we can do, folks.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the scenes. Politics, dating, plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.